RHBTV News with Jessica Tomasoni.
Thank you for joining us. Today, once again, RHBTV News is excited to bring you a new product. Don Miller, CEO, Deposit Rocket, joins us remotely and gives us all the details. Ben Myers is back with another episode of Coast to Coast, reviewing the National Rent Report and data from Local Logic on what renters want. Lastly, we take a moment to talk about a special series we'll be launching in conjunction with the March 8th International Women's Day event. Let's get started.
Managing multi-residential resident deliveries. Snaily, Canada's parcel locker company.
With over 14,000 products in stock every day, we are your maintenance supply superstore. Go to hsbuild.com.
Joining us remotely is Don Miller, CEO, Deposit Rocket Inc. Welcome, Don.
Thanks very much, Jessica. Very excited to be here.
The apartment industry has seen unprecedented challenges this past year, from moratoriums on evictions, rent freezes, a percentage of tenants who can't or don't pay their rents, plus all the additional costs to owners due to the pandemic. That being said, we're excited to showcase a new product that we believe can make a difference to our industry. So I'm especially looking forward to our conversation today because your product is new. Well, new to Canada. So let's start there. What is Deposit Rocket and why bring it to Canada?
Thanks, Jessica. Deposit Rocket is a combination of an insurtech, proptech, and fintech. Our goal is a quicker and easier home purchase for Canadians. The program allows prospective home buyers to make an offer on a home without the cash deposit or certified check traditionally required. House-rich, cash-poor buyers can now unlock their existing equity in their home and provide a deposit guarantee, which is attached to the offer instead of a deposit check. The guarantee is as secure as cash for sellers because it is backed by an A-rated insurance company. Everything is done online, instantly or near instantly, without a loan or visiting the bank. It's more convenient for everyone involved, as no one likes driving around, picking up and delivering certified checks. Making a quick and competitive and guaranteed offer has won a number of homes in this hot market. We brought deposit guarantees for home buyers to Canada after modeling several similar programs in Australia, where they have enjoyed a 20-year successful track record.
I see. Now, this is specific to the home buyer market, but you've already evolved the product, which is what I'd like to focus on. Fill us in on how you've already adapted.
Yes, we've adapted our product to facilitate pre-construction purchases. In the West, we are seeing a lot of multifamily, row townhomes, and walk-ups. In the East, we are getting a lot of large tower interest. Builders across Canada are using deposit guarantees to overcome the consumer objection of not wanting their cash tied up in a deposit while they await the home to be constructed. It is a far more desirable for the buyer to leverage their existing home equity or liquid investments for the required deposit. Deposit Rocket guarantees are a cashable and callable A-rated financial instrument that banks will accept within building lending ratios.
Now, both versions are guaranteed or come with a guarantee.
That's correct, Jessica. Both programs come with a guarantee in the form of a surety bond backed by an A-rated insurer. Builders and construction companies will be familiar with surety. It's a $740 million industry in Canada and far larger in the US.
And both are available across Canada.
Yes, Deposit Rocket is available to all Canadians except in Quebec at present.
As exciting as this is, you've also developed a product that will help our industry even more, but this one is tenant-based. What can you tell us?
Correct. We are shifting availability of deposit guarantees from home buyers to tenants, in that they will no longer have to borrow or make the traditional security deposit. The average tenant is often having to borrow the last month's rent. So this will save them thousands of dollars in moving costs and reduce the friction and hassle of dealing with deposit checks for landlords. We're also looking at additional benefits to landlords to cover them off on missed rent, eviction costs, and damage to the unit. All this in one tidy deposit guarantee. The program will initially be available to property managers with 250 units and up, after which our plan is to help individual landlords.
So this is really new. Have you had the opportunity to even test it in the market yet?
Well, we haven't officially launched the renters program, but we are now accepting qualified property managers and their system providers into our pilot. And we are quite excited about the industry's feedback. A variation of this program has worked very well in the US, so we are quite confident in its success.
Wow. I think that one will have an impact on our industry for sure. Before we go, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, my final thoughts are that the future is bright for our industry. PropTech is making the business more efficient and predictable, which is great for valuations. I'm open to all industry feedback, so feel free to email me at don@depositrocket.ca or give me an old-fashioned phone call on the number listed on our website.
Don Miller, CEO, Deposit Rocket. Thank you for coming. We really enjoy showcasing new products. I hope you get to come back when the tenant-specific product is ready to go. I know our audience would appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Up next, Ben Myers and Coast to Coast.
Looking for a new spin on laundry? Ask us about our new mobile payment option.
And now, Ben Myers with Coast to Coast. Take it away, Ben.
Thank you, Jessica. Welcome to this episode of Coast to Coast. I'm your host, Ben Myers. This episode, we examine the Canadian rental landscape by reviewing the National Rent Report by Rentals.ca and Bullpen Research and Consulting. Secondly, with online big data from Local Logic, we'll let you know what renters want. First, let's start with the average rent for all Canadian properties listed on Rentals.ca in January of 2021, which was $1,714 per month, down 8.7% annually. The Canadian rental market continued its downward trend to start the new year. The January 2021 decline is slightly worse than the average decline in the second half of 2020 of 8.5%. On a monthly basis, rent was down 0.5% from $1,723 per month. Now, let's look at rental rates by property type. Here we see the average monthly rental rates as well as the average rental rate per square foot for single-family homes, condominium apartments, and rental apartments for the January 2020 to January 2021 period. The colors represent the median rent. The average rental rate for single-family homes in January 2021 was $2,215, down 15% from the previous January's average of $2,607. Condominium apartments in January 2021 experienced a decline of 19% from the previous year to $1,988 per month. The average rental rates for rental apartments have not experienced the same large declines as the other major property types, showing a 5% increase over the January 2020 to $1,604 per month. Now let's look at the data for the average rent and average rent per square foot for all property types by province via rentals.ca listings. British Columbia, Ontario, and the Northwest Territories had the highest average rent as well as the highest average rent per square foot. Newfoundland and Saskatchewan had the lowest average rental rates at just $1,010 and $1,011 per month, respectively. Over the course of the year, the average rent for condominium and rental apartments in Ontario, the red line in this chart, has steadily declined, falling by over 16% from January 2020. This notable drop is the largest out of all major provinces. British Columbia rents for condos and rental apartments increased by 8.3% annually, surpassing Ontario as the most expensive province in September of last year. Rents in Manitoba and Alberta have been relatively flat year over year, while Saskatchewan is down by 1.7% from January 2020 to January 2021. Now we turn our attention to the annual change in rent for the top municipalities in Canada for both condo and rental apartments in January 2020 versus January 2021. We start with Vancouver, which has the most expensive rents in the country at $2,178 per month on average for condo and rental apartments. This figure is down 5% annually. In January of last year, Toronto was the most expensive municipality, and we're talking about the former city of Toronto, pre-amalgamation. But rents have dropped 21% year over year to $2,000 on average. Elsewhere in Ontario, both Hamilton and Kitchener experienced increases in average rent compared to a year earlier. The average rent in Hamilton increased by 10% to $1,820, and the average rent in Kitchener increased by 16% to $1,613. Outside of Old Toronto, the areas with the largest annual declines in January 2021 were Etobicoke, with a decrease of 18% to $1,926, and North York, with a decline of 15% to $1,936. Oshawa and Kitchener experienced the highest annual growth rates. The average rent in Oshawa increased 13.5%, while the average rent in Kitchener increased by 8.8%. Part of the increase in Oshawa can be attributed to a change in the composition of listings. Average rents have increased in places like London, St. Catharines, and Hamilton, but declined significantly in Oakville, Mississauga, and Markham. Recently, Rentals.ca published their third annual Rental Market Predictions Report. One of the categories we'd like to focus on is what renters want, which covers lifestyle preferences. To capture changes in renters' lifestyle preferences as a result of the pandemic, Local Logic of Montreal compared the first and fourth quarters of 2020. The two categories showing major differences were public transit, down 24% in interactions by renters from Q1 to Q4, and groceries, up 21% in interactions. Other areas that showed movement were increased interest in quietness and park access, between 8% and 10% increase. Interest in daycare went down 18%, possibly due to many parents now working from home. Schools still lead all other categories for renters' preferences. This is likely true for renters, most likely families, looking for larger units. Grocery stores, as well as public transport, are more important to one-bedroom unit renters, accounting for a larger portion of their interactions. Compared to a year earlier, smaller units made up 69% of the rental market listings in Canada in 2020, an 18% increase compared to 2019, most likely due to the flow of short-term rentals and student-occupied listings added to the market. While the inventory leaned heavily towards smaller units. Larger units were more in demand. Smaller units were less frequently visited by searchers in 2020 compared to the year before, while bigger 3 to 5 bedroom units saw an increase in views per listing. 4-bedroom units saw one of the largest changes, a 54% rise in views per listing year over year. Demand went down for all units between March and May, but larger units finished the year on top. The level of demand online for 4 to 5 bedroom units was up 13% and 47% respectively year over year, while demand for smaller 1 and 2 bedroom units were down between 26% and 15% respectively. So we can conclude the average rent continues to drop nationally, while the major decline in rental rates in Toronto continues. Many of the major resale housing markets in Canada are a feeding frenzy of activity, with low interest rates and changing housing demands fueling a buying spree. However, it's not having an impact on the rental market in any meaningful way. The latest Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation data has come out, showing the vacancy rate in Canada increased from 2.2% to 3.2% for rental apartments, as the pandemic has cut immigration, reduced household formation, and kept many students at home with their parents. And local logic data shows us COVID-19 had clear effects on renters' preferences this year. Proximity to grocery stores and parks shot up in Canada. On the other hand, a sharp decrease in interest in nearby public transport is a short-lived trend that will slowly recover as vaccinations become a reality, as it is still in the top 3 most desired location characteristics in spite of the decrease. To view the full Rentals.ca 3rd Annual Rental Market Predictions, you can go to rentals.ca/blog. That's all for this episode. We'll continue to monitor the data, analyze the numbers, look for trends, and deliver the results to you, the viewer. Thank you for watching. I'm Ben Myers, and we look forward to bringing you the next episode of Coast to Coast. Back to you, Jessica.
Great to see Ben back. And as always, insightful and what we like, data. Next, women in the workforce.
Looking for a trusted service partner? We deliver quality workmanship on time and on budget.
March 8th, 2021 is International Women's Day. We'd like to take this moment to talk about how we can all make a difference. On December 13th, 2018, Status of Women Canada became a federal department named Women and Gender Equality Canada, or WAGE. The department works to advance equality for women by focusing its efforts in 3 priority areas: increasing women's economic security and prosperity, encouraging women's leadership and democratic participation, and ending gender-based violence. According to WAGE, over 72% of Canadian households are made up of 2 working parents, up from 35% in 1976. Add to this, 20% of working parents are single parents, and 8 out of 10 of these are women. Women in Canada earn 28% less than men. Women in Canada are becoming better educated than men, with over half of university grads being women, and 35% of those are MBA graduates. Women represent only 10% of seats on board of directors. Women hold only 5.2% of the CEO roles at Fortune 500 companies. Women hold only 8% of top paid jobs in Canada. 21% of single moms are raising their children in poverty in Canada, versus 9.6% of the total Canadian population living below the poverty level. 50% of women in Canada above the age of 18 have experienced sexual or physical assault. A recent article titled "Making Room at the Table for Boots and Heels" concluded the apartment industry has made progress towards becoming a more equitable environment for women, but there was still more work to be done. They also concluded that among the challenges facing women, the self-imposed hurdles are the ones that inhibit their advancement. The top 5 challenges women face in their careers are lack of confidence, aversion to risk and failure, imposter syndrome, which can be defined as a collection of feelings of inadequacy that persist despite evident success, discomfort with self-promotion, and career aspiration gaps. So, what can we do? Again, according to the article, a point was made for networking and mentorship, that they improve career success for women. It's recommended you build your network, and then when you're considering a new opportunity or a project, that you connect with someone who you respect, who is more experienced in the industry, and that you can have discussions with about whatever concerns or worries you may have. We can also promote equality and diversity in the workplace by treating all staff and suppliers fairly, creating an inclusive culture for all staff and suppliers, enabling all staff and support them to develop their full potential, equip staff with the skills to challenge inequality and discrimination in their work environment, making certain that any materials do not discriminate against any individuals or groups, ensuring policies, procedures, and processes do not discriminate. Ultimately, we're in business, and if we want our businesses to be profitable and successful, the data is in and the numbers don't lie. Again, according to the article, building an apartment company that is more equitable for women isn't just the right thing to do. It's a way to increase businesses' success. A 2017 paper pointed out that companies with gender diversity in upper management perform better than homogeneous companies in ROI and carry less debt. The data also showed that while women are prevalent in the ranks of middle management in real estate companies, they are still way underrepresented in senior leadership and partnership level roles. According to a report by the International Labour Organization covering 13,000 firms in 70 countries, in terms of profits, almost 3/4 of the companies that tracked gender diversity in management positions reported increases of between 5 and 20%, while the majority saw 10 to 15% growth. Lastly, RHBTV News, in support of International Women's Day, has dedicated the month of March to celebrate women in the industry. Starting on Monday, March 8th, we will release a 4-part special weekly series with interviews with top women in our industry that are all truly inspirational. I'd like to acknowledge some of the women who gave their time and shared their incredible stories. Margaret, Park Properties. Carrie, Concert Properties. Brandy, Sifton Properties. Trish, Align Vest Management. BJ, Skyline REIT. Julie, GH Capital. Atia, Hazelview. Vesna, Metcalf Living. Sam, Yardy Canada. Erica, Enbridge Gas. Sophia, Winspec Engineering. Paula, CMLS Financial. And Shami, Wise Meter Solutions. Thank you to these amazing women for sharing, and you're going to love these interviews. And now, this. Here at RHBTV News, we want to be able to bring you relevant, timely news that matters to you. As such, we are pleased to announce that Kristen Lay, partner Cohen Hiley Lawyers, is joining us as our legal analyst. Kristen will not only help us navigate the legal issues of the day, but will also answer your questions. Take it away, Kristen.
Thank you, Jessica. Viewer questions that I think viewers will have are changes to government legislation and compliance obligations, maybe information about what new procedures are put in place at housing tribunals as they continue to adjust to these virtual hearings, implications of a potential second moratorium on residential evictions might be a current topic that will spur some questions, updates to standard leases in Ontario, and perhaps even how to enforce terms in tenancy agreements like insurance provisions and no smoking clauses.
Thank you, Kristen. And to our viewers, please send your questions to info@rhbtv.ca and we will answer them on upcoming shows. We'll be right back. Don Miller, CEO, Deposit Rocket, who not only shared a new product, but also announced another new product being developed. This one specific to our industry. Thank you, Don, and we look forward to him coming back for the launch. Welcome back, Ben. Coast to Coast just wasn't the same without you, and you didn't waste any time reviewing the National Rent Report and getting us some great data from local logic on what renters want. Lastly, please mark March 8th on your calendars as we launch our 4-part weekly series celebrating some amazing women in our industry. I know their stories will surprise and with some make your jaw even drop. Thank you for tuning into today's show. Please continue sharing your stories with us in order to continue tailoring upcoming shows and to better address the challenges we face. As for us, we will continue monitoring the news, follow up with our sources, and keep bringing you the most up-to-date information through all of our platforms, RHB Newsreel, Magazine, and this show. I'm Jessica Tomasoni. Thank you for watching, and remember, wash your hands often, keep your distance, wear your mask, and be safe. We'll see you soon.